we're going to continue covering the line of minis that Matt Mercer wishes that he had when he was running Critical Role Campaign 1. This is Monsters of Exandria 3, and many thanks to WizKids for sending it our way. This really is a box of relatively random monsters from Campaign 1, including one from the very first episode of the show. We've had a couple of Critical Role sourcebooks, including Tal'Dorei Campaign Setting, and Tal'Dorei Campaign Setting Reborn, and The Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. But as far as I can tell, these creatures here don't appear in any of them. Luckily, there's a fantastic fan site called CritRoleStats that often reverse engineers creatures from the show and gives us stat blocks to use for a reference. And now with the minis, you can use those stat blocks to run the creatures yourselves. So those are the ones I'll be referencing here when they're provided, and honestly, this is just a pretty cool set of creatures. So let's meet some Monsters of Exandria. Before we jump in, don't miss out on the Big Bad's Kickstarter from our sponsor Hit Point Press going on right now. You can get 2 must-have books for your 5e games. The Big Book of Big Bads features more than 25 big bad villains to challenge your adventuring party, either in one-shots or in your ongoing campaigns. Each one features backstories, layers, stat blocks, sometimes special magic items, minions, and more. Use the included story hooks to connect them to your ongoing campaigns, and get creatures and curios for even more gorgeously illustrated monsters and magic items to enhance your games. They have free samples of both books on their website. Go check it out right now using the link in the eye in the corner of your screen up there or down below me. That is the Big Bads on Kickstarter now. We are starting off with a creature named Symphior, who was created by Matt and the community during one of their fireside chat Q&As. Matt gave them a series of polls, and the community voted for a tiny-sized, celestial, charismatic creature who cared about the environment, and we got Symphior, a planetar meant to protect the land but who got deformed by the land's abuse. The Abyssal Abomination is an amalgamation of fiends and aberrations created by Kavarn, a mutated beholder who had the horn of Orcus embedded in his forehead. He was one of the first major antagonists of Critical Role, and I can't believe we don't have a mini for him yet. Matt did provide CritRoleStats with his initial stat block for the Abyssal Abomination, who was also able to regain 10 hit points each round. You can find that in the link in the doohickey down below. The Naga Abomination, presumably another creation of Kavarn, was the first major foe faced by Vox Machina at the end of Episode 1, Arrival at Craghammer. The 6-headed Naga seemed to be based on the Spirit Naga, but had 5 bite attacks per turn in lieu of its usual spellcasting abilities. CritRoleStats has most of the information you would need if you'd like to run it for yourself. You can again check those links down below. Ghurrix is a pit fiend that Vox Machina crossed paths with in the City of Brass around episodes 75 and 76. He was one of the ambassadors to the 9 Hells. You can certainly use this mini as a regular pit fiend, or you can check out some of Matt's modifications at CritRoleStats down below. He gave the party quite a beating. And here you can see him next to a few other pit fiends that I've collected over the years, plus the pit fiend, Bell. His servant was an Yes, a fierce warrior who can be summoned by a pit fiend once a day, and this is a pretty good Yes mini. They come armed with a longbow and a long sword, which can poison foes pretty severely. They're also able to parry the melee attacks of their enemies. With a CR of 12, they can be pretty tough adversaries in themselves. And here she is next to a couple of other Yes minis from previous WizKids collections. So yes, this is definitely a varied set of monster minis. A fallen planetar, a pit fiend and his Yes, a 6-headed Naga, and a tentacled monstrosity. But if you're just looking for some cool, creative monsters to throw at your adventuring party, this is a good set. And I don't know about you, but I want all the pit fiend minis. Pit fiends and Balors are just some of my favorites. Monsters of Exandria Set number 3 will be available this month, April 2023, for between $60 and $70. You can see our review of Monsters of Exandria Set 1 in the eye in the corner of your screen up there, and we'll have coverage of Set 2, yes, I am doing these out of order, here on the channel very soon, so be sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. Also, don't miss out on the Big Bad's Kickstarter going on right now. Those 2 books are going to be treasure troves for your adventures, I promise you. And come join Grady and me at ComedySportz Houston on April 15th for the first chapter of The Bard's Bounty, a new comedy D&D adventure by our good buddy Benji, who you've seen here on the channel a couple of times. You can pick yourself up a kobold friend at koboldplus.com, plus some accessory packs to customize him or her with a lot of different classes. And you can follow us on social media on Grabbag, Slam Jam, Loquacious, and 6 Degrees. For now, stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.